Is this a fight worth having?
We didn't pick the fight, Brett. Kamala Harris got on a jet at taxpayer expense and flew to Florida to lie about the African-American history standards that were developed.
Understood.
And why is this important, though?
Well, you're asked about it a lot,
but
so
you
that's
can't,
what you're saying.
No, I'm saying it is important. Why? You can't bend the knee to the left's lies. When the left lies and creates these phony narratives, you've got to push back.
Said yesterday, why are we fighting this? This happened. We know it happened. We are the products of what happened. So what are you talking about? Who's lying? Mm-hmm. Well,
hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So we've got to talk once again about the wonderful, smart, fair, and very, very balanced women of The View. First, I got to roll this whole clip. You've got to see the absolute insanity in their fixation on Governor Ron DeSantis. I can't even explain it to you. You've got to see it.
Here comes the clip. Watch the clip.
Is this a fight worth having?
We didn't pick the fight, Brett. Kamala Harris got on a jet at taxpayer expense and flew to Florida to lie about the African-American history standards that were developed.
Understood.
And why is this important, though?
Well, you're asked about it a lot,
but
so
you
that's
can't,
what you're saying.
No, I'm saying it is important. Why? You can't bend the knee to the left's lies. When the left lies and creates these phony narratives, you've got to push back.
You know, there's too many of us for you to pull that BS, sir. There's too many of us who actually, those are the lies that you've created. You know, there are special people from time to time that we talk about, who have done amazing things, came out of slavery, and were able to break a barrier. That wasn't 99% of folks, sir. There are enough black people in your state who could actually teach you what happened, because their grandparents and the great-grandparents, they spread all these stories for us so we would know, because y'all weren't writing them in the books. So let's not fool around with this, because as she said yesterday, Kamala Harris said yesterday, Vice President by the by, said yesterday, why are we fighting this? This happened. We know it happened. We are the products of what happened. So what are you talking about? Who's lying?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's kind of like, he doesn't want the black vote because he knows he's never going to get it. So, he says a lot of racist things. This is just one of them.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, he's all about the anti-woke. Let's get the anti-woke.
The anti-woke
people
means, whatever black people are talking about, you shouldn't be listening to what happened. The history is the history. Right. The country is the country, and we know what happened.
By the way, Booker T. Washington, one of the great African Americans in history, he was freed at age 9. Mm-hmm. And he worked in mines and as a houseboy before he went to school, and he became the great educator that he was. So what did he learn in the mines, I'd like to know? And what did he learn as a houseboy? I'm not sure what they're talking about. What skills are they talking about that you developed in a system like slavery, which was oppressive? The women were raped. The men were tortured. The families were separated from each other. They took your children away from you. What do you learn from that? There is nothing to learn from that except that it's bad.
It also ignores what these same men and women could have accomplished.
So guys, let me know if you agree, man. But to me, this whole conversation about Ron DeSantis trying to hide slavery from American history, it's got to make you wonder about the people that are making these claims. It seems like a parody. And if it wasn't so damn disturbing, you would actually find it funny. It would feel like a parody. But really, how can anyone be so heavily propagandized that they actually believe that this stuff is real? And let's be clear, slavery in America, probably the most abhorrent thing in our history. But it was not a unique phenomenon. It was not unique to America. The idea that only Americans created and practiced slavery is absolutely insane. People have no understanding of history. But there are people that actually believe this. And some people, their argument is that black Americans are worse off in America than they would have been anywhere else because of slavery. And obviously, I have no idea what that argument, what the basis of that argument is, what they actually mean. Let me know in the comments if you guys can help me figure that out, or if there's someone who has, an insight into that. But obviously, that's an argument that seems to be much more complex than any of these usual talking heads are ready to have. But that said, I obviously don't understand what they're talking about, so I don't fully agree. The reality is that there's an effort to teach history fairly and properly, instead of through the lens of a left-wing agenda, instead of through the lens of oppressor and oppressed. And that has got, obviously, the usual woke revolutionaries completely losing their freaking mind. And my favorite part of this is in all this hyperbolic targeted propaganda. You know, they always leave out one of the most important parts. They always leave it out. And most curriculums leave it out too. Who freed the slaves? White people played a role in that too. You know, not Africans. They didn't come over here and free the slaves. White Americans did that. And speaking of Africans, you know, the fact that they were involved in selling their own people is heartbreaking and terrible. And that is an insanely complex and painful part of this history as well, and almost always ignored. Anyway, it just seems, man, that those who are criticizing curriculums without considering different perspectives, they should probably pick up a book themselves or listen to some alternative viewpoints. You know, it might help make the conversation more informed and far less pointless. But anyway, here's the way I see it. I really believe that no one reasonable actually has a real problem with what Florida is doing, either on this curriculum or in the Parental Rights and Education Act, all of this. This is just political violence against DeSantis, who they view as an actual threat to their own power and control. That is all that this is. And anyone who's getting all ginned up about Florida's education curriculum when they don't even know the curriculum in their own state, guys, wake up. That should tell you something. That should wake you up right there. You are being led around by the nose. You are being fueled and funneled to hate. That's it. You know, that's just my take, guys. Let me know in the comments yours. And please, don't forget to like, subscribe. Most importantly, share the Common Sense Garage. We'll see you in the next one.